Hey guys, welcome to, I guess, another date and diaries kind of thing. I just wanted to do episode 2. I know in the last vlog, if anybody's paying attention, I said that I wasn't gonna do any more updates on the dating diaries or the dating updates. I lied. But this one is gonna be more of a, I don't know, I'll make it up as I go along. So anyway, today is Sunday. It is September 15th. Yeah, 15th. So Ja is at my mom's house. It's about 10:15 in the morning, and I have been in here actually working. So yesterday I dropped Ja off and at my mom, and he's been there since, I think I dropped him off around like maybe about 6 o'clock, somewhere up in there. And so the plan was to just come back home, try to do a little bit of work stuff, and then just rest. I kind of had plans to see somebody, but I didn't see them. We'll talk about that in a sec. And so I just literally went to bed. Like, I was asleep by 9:30. So I slept from 9:30 to 7 o'clock this morning. So I am well rested. And then when I got up this morning, I just started to just kind of move some stuff around because the cleaner lady is coming on Wednesday, but I still wanted to kind of like do little things around the house. I had some stuff I needed to throw out. Like, I'm starting to feel just overwhelmed with just like everything. I'm overwhelmed with everything, which leads me to today's dating diary, whatever. So anywho, I have been talking to someone, y'all, for like 5 months. Like, I didn't even realize how long it's been because I told y'all like I was dating multiple people at once. And this person that I've been seeing for 5 months, when I first started talking to them, I just really wasn't taking them serious at all. Like, I was just like, oh, you know, from the door, I kind of like made up my mind. The same way these men make up their mind on what they're gonna do with you. I kind of made up my mind from the very beginning that I wasn't gonna really take the person serious. So initially, when I first started dealing with him, I was kind of like dodging him a lot. Like, I was dodging him, and I just was like, you know, like, I don't wanna, not to say that I didn't wanna date him, but I just kind of felt like it was going to be a situation where, more often than not, like those situations for me, and I'm just talking about me, where I know from the door that it's not going to be anything serious. Those are the situations that I would say 90% of the time I end up liking a person, right? Let's just at the bare minimum, just liking them or whatever. So I was dodging him for a while, plus I was dating other people, so I was just like, oh. So when I finally gave in to his advances and stuff like that, and just whatever, initially I was like on the same thing, like, oh, you know, I'm not taking this person serious. But I don't want to say he was love bombing me, because he wasn't technically kind of love bombing me. I just think that this is going to be hard, because I was like, at the same time, I don't want to tell y'all like all the details of the situation. It's not bad, but anyway, he wasn't what I would say love bombing me. I would say that, because it's a difference. Like, it's some men that love bomb you and tell you all these dramatic things, and then there's some men that's like genuinely just showing interest, right, in different ways. He is a good person. You know, we're like the same age, and he doesn't have any children, whatever. So I haven't met anyone in a minute that haven't had kids. In fact, I met a couple of guys that I've kind of like been conversing with that's like my age or a little bit older that don't have kids, which is kind of weird, because I don't meet a lot of men that don't have kids. But anyway, good job, got a little head on his shoulders, everything. So anyway, moving along with the situation, he started to express himself and tell me certain things, and some of them was kind of like, dramatic, but at the same time, it was like, I was just thinking to myself, like, again, you have men that love bomb you, and then you have men that just show genuine interest. There are men out here that will tell you, like, they really like you, and it's just usually like a red flag for me. Like, if we're talking in like the first week, you're like, I love you, or I like you, like, it's just like, you don't know me yet. We haven't hung out together. We haven't did anything. What do you love about me? You don't even know me. So that to me is love bombing. And then also like talking about the future before we even get into a relationship. Like, to me, that's like love bombing. So he didn't do that to me in the beginning, and then like midway, he had expressed his feelings to me, told me So I don't know how to, I'm trying not to, like I said, I was trying not to tell y'all too much. Anyway, he was expressing himself, and I was more or less like, okay, like taking it in. Like, it is a possibility that you could feel this way, and I'm going to give you a little bit of grace, but I'm still not going to take you serious. So I would say, because I told you I've been talking to somebody, this is a person that I've been kind of seeing whatever for like the past, it's been like 5 months, right? So he had mentioned to me, I would say midway through, I would say like maybe after 2 months, he had mentioned something to me. He had said to me, would I be interested in having like an open relationship? And I've never, ever, ever in my entire life have ever had a man ask me to be in an open relationship. So when he first said it to me, I was like, like what? Like open relationship? Like, I don't even know how to respond to it, because it just was like something that I've never experienced and thought about. Because now when he's asking me this question, it's like in the middle of us. This is like maybe about 2-3 months in, like two months in. Let's just say 2 months in. And so I'm like, I don't know. Like, let me think about it and get back to you. So as of course, as I'm seeing him, I'm seeing other people, and I was thinking about it, and I was just like, like, what does this entail? Like, exactly, like, because there is a small part of me that, I think I mentioned this to y'all before, that I'm kind of enjoying dating multiple people at the same time, if I want to be 100% honest with you. Call it selfish, call it greedy, call it whatever you want to call it. But like I told you before, I've never done it before. Like, I've never dated multiple people, and I kind of like it. And I think I like it because it just kind of like gives me the opportunity to kind of like weigh my options. Like, if the same way men do. So they'll be talking to a couple of females, and then whoever has, I guess, the most whatever, like, then that's who they decide to be with, I guess. So, and because I'm dating multiple people, it's not like so much pressure on one person. So like, if one person is pulling away, then I have other people to talk to. And it's just such, for me, it has been so like, just, I don't know, it's just been very like, just freeing, like, of that pressure of that one person. Because when you're just dealing with somebody, like, everything is about that one person. So anyway, he asked me the question, and I was just taken back. I'm like, what is that? So anyway, I thought about it, and after I thought about it, because I'm just saying to myself, okay, an open relationship basically means like No, okay, let's go back. So when he had asked me the question, I had asked him, I'm like, why would you want to be in an open relationship? And he was just like, oh, well, because, what if you want to talk to somebody else and I want to talk to somebody else? Like, as long as we tell each other what's going on, then it's okay. So I was like, well, it's okay for you, right? So he was just like, yeah. So I was like, it wouldn't bother you that I'm talking to other people? And he was just like, no, as long as you tell me. So I was like, okay, I just wanted to know what your thoughts were on why you presenting this to me, right? So anywho, we continue to, so I said, let me think about it. I gotta think about it, pros, cons, whatever, right? As I'm thinking about it, I'm just saying to myself, like, oh, so this is something else. Before I came to my conclusion and what my response was going to be, I mentioned to him, and I think it came up in conversation that I was talking to somebody else, right? And he was just like, after I kind of like divulged to him that I was talking to somebody else, he was like, he kept asking about it. Like, oh, you talking to this person still? Are you talking to that person still? Whatever. So I was just saying to myself, like, how is it that you want to be in an open relationship, but you already acting jealous? So it's like, okay. So a mixture between that and what I was thinking to myself and what I want, I was just like, yeah, nah, I'm good. So I kind of told him, I was like, nah, I'm not really interested in an open relationship. Let's just continue what we got going on right now, and we'll go from there. Not to mention, I just feel like the kind of man that I want to have in my life eventually, like, I don't want someone that is okay with wanting to share me. Like, I want the person that I'm dealing with to feel like I don't ever want to share you with anyone. Like, you're too beautiful, you're too awesome of a person that I would want to share you with someone else, right? Like, that's just, I was thinking about that. Then I was thinking about the fact that, I wouldn't want to know anyone that he was dealing with on the side. And to me, open relationships really only happen after you've had like a relationship, and then you're like, okay, let's try this. Now, the older I get, the more experiences I have, the more I kind of think of things as like, you do need to kind of like have an open mind about certain things, but it has to be something that you want, not what the other person wants, what you want. So although I'm dating and, I wouldn't have kind of like minded to be in an open relationship, or maybe that's probably what it is, maybe it just wouldn't have been with him, but I just felt like I want someone that doesn't want me to be with anyone else, once we together, like, especially if we put relationship on it. So we got that out of the loop. Next thing is, I had kind of like asked him for a few things. I had asked him to do certain things for me, nothing crazy, nothing that costs money, more or less just time, and he has a pretty like, not, I want to say demanding, he does like, his job is like, requires him to be very physical, like every single day. And so I know that, he had, expressed to me like, oh, a lot of times when I get off from work, I'm tired and, I can't do this. But here's my gripe. So I understand that because the line of work that he does is very physically demanding. But I've dealt with other men that does actually more physical work than you do, and they spend time with you. But it's another thing. So I'm gonna tie everything up to y'all. Then he would, on top of me asking him to do certain things, he would say he's gonna do it, and then he don't do it. And then on top of him not doing it, there was never like a follow-up, like, hey, I know you asked me to do X, Y, and Z, but I didn't do it. So I confronted him a few times about it, and then there was no change. So I'm like, okay. And I know y'all all saying like, why would you still dealing with this person after that? And it's just because I know he's a good person. Like, I know he's not a bad person And so what I know and what I know about people and what I've experienced with relationships and friendships and stuff like that, some people you do have to give a little grace to. There's some people that's flat out just like off the rip, you just need to cut off. And I think that's when God usually reveals those things immediately to you, right? So you don't even have to, like, especially if you ask him to, right? And then you got people that unfortunately you just don't catch on to certain things right away. It does take a little time, but I think what's important is for you to pay attention to those things and to eventually, like, let those situations go and don't let it drag on once those things become, revealed to you. So anyway, time is going on, and at the same time, I told you I was dating other people, so it wasn't like he was the only guy I was seeing. Like, it was just like, so it wasn't really like a sense of urgency. So we're still dating, we're still seeing. So he would make time for me, but I just wanted to spend a little bit more time with him because I like being around him. And this is the first time, he's a Libra. This is the first time I've ever really dealt with a Libra before in this capacity. They usually don't make past like a month with me most of the time, Libras. This is the longest I've dealt with a Libra, and I think that if I wasn't talking to other people and it was just him, he probably would have got cut off like a long time ago. And I don't know why they keep saying that Leos and Libras are compatible, but they are sadly mistaken. So anyway, I'm trying to give him some grace. I'm trying to give him some understanding. I flat out asked him, this is what I asked him, y'all. I said, hey, I keep asking you to do certain things. You're not doing them. Do you not want me to ask you to do these things? Do you not want to spend time with me? Do you not? And if that's the case, can you just tell me that so that way I know not to ask you those things? So he's like, no. Da, 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 da. So I'm like, okay. Now, from the very beginning, I know this is a long story, but I'm just trying to catch y'all up because I don't think I really mentioned it. I mean, this is a dating diaries, right? So in the mix of it, I knew he was seeing other people. He knew I was seeing other people. So then I'm like, okay, well, maybe, you're liking somebody now. You want to be in a situation. And this is not constantly me always like on him and asking him the questions. It was just like, checking in kind of thing. Every now and then I like to do that. I like to just check in with somebody I'm dating, see where we are, and then we go on from that. Because it's like, it's always good to just have those little check-ins. It doesn't have to be like every week. It doesn't, like, ever so often. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you see like a change in behavior and stuff like that. I am the type of person, like, I need to know what's going on. Even if it's just like we're just dating as friends and I still want to know what's going on because it kind of like clears my path and just give me a little clarity. Like, I like things to be clear to me. Like, so he's like, no, I am dating other people, but it's not serious. There's nothing going on or whatever. So we go back and forth. So then finally, I'm just trying to give him grace, trying to give him a little bit of grace, right? So now this is September. This is at literally a 5-month mark, and I am tired of him pretty much because it's like there has been no change. Like, the spending time is still not being done, and I'm tired of talking about it, and I'm tired of expressing myself. So the only thing that's left to do is to remove myself from the situation. And I have been trying to shake this person for probably about 2-3 months now. Like, honestly, I've prayed on it multiple times to ask God to give me the strength to let go of this person because unfortunately I ended up getting feelings for him. And it's not like it's crazy, like, oh, I'm in love with him. It's nothing like that, but it's like I started to get attached to him a little bit, if I wanted to say it like that, because we speak very often and I see him, not as much as I see him, but I would say consistently for the last maybe 5 months. We would see each other like at least once a week. There was a couple of weeks where I was just like, he's not doing what I want him to do, put him on back. But like, he's the only person I've been seeing this consistently out of everybody else that I've been dating. So I think once you're forced, the more you see somebody, the more attached you get. So that's another thing. So I'm at the end of my rope, and mind you, I've tried to cut it off multiple times with him, and every time I try to cut it off with him, he's like, no, I don't want it, I don't want to, because I always try to, again, communicate, tell people, like, especially when I'm dating, it's like, yo, do you want us to take a break? Do you want us to, like, regroup at a later time? And of course, I always get the same thing, no, but then the actions speak louder than words, right? And this is exactly what's going on in this situation. It's like, I keep talking to you, and your actions constantly just showing up like as somebody that is not serious and don't value. And that's like a big thing for me right now. Like, I need to be with men who value me and who has genuine intentions. So, and that's another thing that I try to ask God to do, is to help me to only attract men that value me and have genuine intentions, etc., etc. I've prayed all of these prayers. Mind you, other people have disappeared and he's still around. But I think what really bothers me the most about him is him saying he's going to do something and he doesn't do it, because the things that I'm asking for are not monetary. And then on top of him not doing it, there's no follow-up. And I've tried to be as patient and understanding and all that, and I don't do that often with men, like, at all. Every now and then if I meet somebody, and I know the difference between a man that is not genuine and a man that is. I just think that he's probably one of the men that have other things going on within his realm that, and I'm saying more of like the inner work kind of thing. Like, he did express to me that he has mommy issues, and that wasn't something that he volunteered. I had to kind of like ask him, and it really didn't come out. It wasn't supposed to come out that I even knew that, but it was just like a conversation we was having, and I was like, that's it. So, and when I start to dig and pull and see certain things about people, that's kind of like what helps me give them a little grace. Now, everybody don't get it, but occasionally I do give people grace, because I know that there's other underlying issues, but it's still not my responsibility to, like, fix that for you and to be conscious of it. Like, you have to do the work to kind of like get that done. And when I realized that is when I was like, that's probably why he is the way he is. And it's not an excuse. It's not a past. It's just something that I observed. So I say all of this to say that, like, he is officially cut off. I think my last straw was me trying to kind of like, because he's also like one of those people, like, when you're going through little things, like, he distances himself or whatever, and that's how he do it. And don't get me wrong, I do it too. But if somebody calls and checks on me and says, hey, how you doing, everything's good, and then I say to them, oh no, or not, yeah, no, this is not good, but this is going on, and then the person tells me like, hey, if you need anything, kind of like tell me, and then you just kind of like don't. And again, I get it, because I'm like that too. Like, I'm the type of person, like, if I'm going through something, I don't really want any help. I just need to be left alone. But there's still a way to handle that, and you don't have to make other people feel like they're trying to help kind of sort of way, and you just like, I don't want that. And then later on, you come back and you're like, thing. But I'm done without a shadow of a doubt. The situation is not something that is serving me, and I think that God has shown me enough at this point to just give me that confirmation that he's just somebody that I can't even be friends with, because of just certain things that he does. Like, I'm not saying I don't allow, but my friends don't do that. They don't tell me that they're going to do something and they don't do it. And if they can't do it, they tell me that they can't do it. bottom line. And I already told y'all before, like, I'm not the type of person that every single time I meet a man that we have to be in a relationship. Like, I'm okay with being friends. Like, I'm friends with a lot of my exes, like, or let's just say we're cordial, right? So it doesn't, like, every single time I get with my, it's like, oh my God, we didn't make it to a relationship. Like, I'm good with people being my friend. You know what I'm saying? I'll give you girlfriend advice. I'll, you know, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But and so when it comes to men, it's the same thing. Like, you know, anybody I date, like, I have a few people that I don't speak to anymore, primarily because of maybe how we left off. And it's like, I don't even really honestly think it's anyone, really, now that I think about it. But if I see that, you know, you got married or you're in a relationship, I don't see why me and you need to have any type of form of communication. Like, we need to continue on with that. Or maybe every now and then, like, some of my exes that hit me up and be like, how you doing? Everything good? How's your mom? And then that's it. We don't speak again probably for like a year or two, another year or two. And that's it. But yeah, he has to go. Okay. And well, you know, I tried to be a friend to you. You didn't want to be a friend with me, and it's cool. And sometimes it's just good to just let go of certain situations that are serving me. But I did, you know, initially wasn't liking him, and that's usually how it goes with me. Like, I usually don't like somebody, then I start to like somebody, and then they don't like me. This is just a constant merry-go-round that I go through. And you know, I don't know what the actual situation is because I don't really have clarity. I kind of like just decided to just remove myself from the situation and block. And I was going back and forth and going back and forth. And again, because he wasn't like the center, because I'm seeing other people, it was just like, you know, I think that's kind of how it got to be this long, is because I was dating other people. So I was just like, I was paying him mind, but then I wasn't paying him no mind. But yeah, I had to like let that situation go. I had to let it go. So that is episode 2 of the Dating Diaries. There, of course, there's more, but that is one situation that I don't think I really told y'all about. I think I did, but maybe I didn't. But that's that. I am in the middle of trying to put together like a little episode of fragrances that I will buy over and over again. That's actually what I was working with. Working on this morning before I started cleaning air conditioner filters, like doing it all. But hopefully that's the next video. I'll try to film that tomorrow. But anyway, y'all have a good day. I will check in with y'all in the next video. Peace. Happy Sunday.